All right, guys, welcome to another episode. We are actually on episode number two, but of season three, Josh. So, welcome to the show, Josh Knox. We met just this past month, this actually current month in Tampa. Josh, it was a great conversation. I was just trying to take a break from the event we were attending, and Josh was plugging away and working at this intense work he was doing. I couldn't resist myself and asking who this guy is, and long behold, that conversation turned into at least a 40-minute conversation there on the couch. And then since then, you've been working with our finance team, talking about Numeric, which is a GoHighLevel based payment processor. I think it's a great tool for any digital marketing agency owner, for sure. And just a very interesting story, Josh. So welcome to the show, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Looking forward to furthering our discussion. I promise I wasn't trying to interrupt you in Tampa.
Well, it was a great interruption, man. I'm glad that it happened. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is, you've been able to get your business Numeric off the ground without, investing in a lot of traditional marketing, just by organically and attending events. And I think that would be a great insight for a lot of agency owners. But before we do that, tell us about who Josh Knox is. Where are you coming from? I know you're in still warm Utah right now. And just give us a bit of a background story and what kind of landed you to start Numeric.
Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, in Utah, locationally, right, geographically, but business-wise, I've spent 25 years in sales and marketing, and it just so happened that I was doing some marketing work for a payments company several years ago, as when I started. Having come from many different spaces, I've spent time in. I worked for eBay. I worked as a project manager there. Then I moved on to sales and marketing and real estate. Went through the Great Recession in real estate, which was a challenge. But really focused on the marketing aspect of what happened in real estate and did a lot of organic marketing, actually knocked on doors. And that's sort of where I laid my foundation of this organic marketing that has tended to work really well for me personally and then for my business.
This is just to be clear, this is 2008, around that time.
Yep.
You're talking about when that recession happened with the real estate bubble and all of that good stuff.
Correct. Yeah. Back in, got my license in 06 and then just progressed through 07, 08. So spent a lot of time there, did a lot of organic, and then dipped my toes into direct marketing in real estate. And then from there, moved on to the beauty industry, was the marketing director for a national beauty school franchise for a number of years. I really enjoyed that. Fantastic people in that industry. And then moved back into real estate and then moved into payments. So every time it was always in sales and marketing of some capacity. For Numeric, what ended up happening is when I got into the payments industry, it was as a marketing, like a contract CMO, and was working with a great company, and they had contracted me to improve their marketing. Payments in general are sort of boots on the ground. It's a lot of door-to-door knocking, going into businesses, having a hard conversation about what their costs are to accept payments, so on and so forth. And so they brought me on to sort of streamline that, take them digital, and through that process found HighLevel. And in the HighLevel group, right, we moved all their marketing from all the various platforms they were using into the HighLevel to make it more streamlined. And then just quite honestly, noticed the conversation and frustration around payments. And as I watched that conversation evolve, I just started talking, asking questions. What do you like? What do you not like? Just really listening to what people were saying. And from there, Numeric was born. We developed a fully integrated product to work in HighLevel. And that's what brings us here today. So that's the background.
That's awesome, man. And I think we left out quite a few exciting. We had this conversation earlier as well, where you went through the build of this this entire software that you built out in high level, and you work with different people, talented people along the way. I think you almost spent like a year building this out.
Yep. Yeah, it was about we're now about 2 years into the total build, right? So from the time we conceptualized it, started mapping it out, what does the software look like? How can we integrate it? That sort of thing. So we are today where we've got multiple dozens of agencies and then individual businesses using our software and our payment system. So yeah,
And you're not a developer, right? So you had to reach out
Nope.
to people and work with different. How did you find people to work on the project for you?
In the high level group, that community, right? I'm going to fanboy for a second, right? That community is so great, and you know this as well, right?
Yeah.
They're so great because not only does the software work really well and benefit agencies massively, but the community itself, the people in it that are working with high level, that are working around high level, that are integrating into high level. And I found a great group of guys through that conversation with that former company and doing that contract work for them. And then just slow building with those guys. And now I've been working with them for about like 2 years, doing various projects. And then this, of course, the biggest one. So
nice. And what, like, and I understand, I work with digital marketing agency owners. That's what we do. I am one myself. I know you spend a lot of time on the sales and marketing side as well. But why work inside this particular niche? Is there a particular reason, or you thought that there's a bigger opportunity here besides what meets the eye?
Yeah, I felt like there was a bigger opportunity. So getting back to what I said about listening to the conversation in the community, right? The community was doing so well with all of the questions that were being asked, except payments. And it's not that people hadn't talked about payments or different solutions to payments. It's that nobody had really stepped into that role and said, I'm going to take this on, tackle it. I happened to be working in the payment space. And as I was listening to that and working in that environment, started noticing some trends. And the trend is let's provide another option because the options were limited, right? And that's really where everything sort of came from. I would love to tell you that I had this sort of like grand strategic plan. No, I just listened to the community and what they were asking for, and then built a product to serve that need.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. Knowing the agency world myself, definitely payments is overlooked, and the fact that so many of these digital marketing agencies and they're launching their clients on maybe as a SaaS company, or at a marketplace at Amazon or something like that. Everybody needs that, right? So on behind the scenes. So there's like, I think you must have said that it might be 10,000 agencies, but there's also a bigger amount of payments that are being processed and things like that, which can all of them turn into a big number. And especially when you get to that 7-figure mark, Josh, these numbers even for the agencies, because as agency owners, I know when it's never been my concern for my old agency where I never grew it more than $30,000 a month. It still could have been some savings there, but as you start scaling and you start getting to those $1 million annual revenues and things like that, then these numbers like start becoming substantial. And I think your tool, Numeric, really helps agency owners cut down on that bill and bring it down to like they can ideally bring it down to 40%, 40 cents on the dollar. Is that kind of where some of the numbers are?
Yeah, so you can typically, what we're seeing right now with our clients is we can eliminate, whatever adjective you want to use there, about 50 to 90% of their current costs, right? So we've got on our website right now several pieces of proof from current clients processing with us just from last month's results. most are paying at least 50% or less. So people that are paying 1.2% total, right? And the average number in the payment industry is 2.9%, 3%, 3.1%. So we've got them anywhere from 1.2% all the way down to 0.3%. So what does that really look like in dollars and cents? For two of my clients right now on that proof page, they both saved $858 and change and $919 and change in just 1 month of processing.
Nice.
Right? So there's a dramatic difference there. This isn't typical, right?
And I think we did a consultation together, and our bill, I think we can easily shave, based on our conversation, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, we can bring it down. And, you just think of what you can do with an extra $1,000 spent on marketing, acquiring new clients, or extra $2,000 spent on a coaching service, or, anything that you've been wanting to invest in. So yeah, that really adds up. Another thing that I think that really stood out for me for Numeric, Josh, is the GoHighLevel connectivity, because I believe 90% of our clients are on GoHighLevel right now, and GoHighLevel is a 17,000 member. That's the number of accounts that they have right now. I think in the last conversation we had with them, we were told. And so that connectivity, and like a company like ours, we're already doing sales and marketing on HighLevel. Now we're thinking of bringing down our customer retention departments inside HighLevel as well, because I think it's just going to streamline everything for us. And having your tool kind of plugged in there at the start of this, any client relationship and things like that, what that allows you to do is that it just connects the dot for an agency owner like really, really well. As soon as the invoice gets paid, you can set up now triggers and all of that stuff throughout your HighLevel, throughout the customer journey. Can you talk a little bit about that aspect of your software?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are integrated into HighLevel, and you can accept payments, set up automations based upon those payments, all kinds of things that you would normally do when you accept a payment online can be automated based off the Numeric system and the HighLevel system. So the other piece that I wanted to touch on is the way we integrated it, right? So what I tend to tell people is, think of Numeric as the high level of payments, right? So not only does it benefit the agency owner because they can drop their payment costs, they can then white label that whole system and provide a totally unique payment service to their customers who take payments, right? So we had a little bit of this discussion. You'll hear HighLevel talk about these numbers. There's 17,000 agencies, right, using the HighLevel service on what I call the front end. That's my group A.
Yeah.
Those 17,000 serve somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 or more. It could be getting close to 600,000 businesses, right, in that same group. So if you now as an agency not only are increasing sales because you're getting better at everything you're doing for marketing, right, but you can then offer those same savings that you're experiencing as an agency to your customers. Not only have you increased all their sales and their revenue, now you've increased their profit, because this is a hardline cost, right, that nobody can think about. The other thing that I'll say is, because we've been able to do that, right, there's a lot of flexibility for the agency owner and what they're putting into their overall SaaS package. And I think that's a lot of where the power comes from and what we've built into that integration. And I'm, tongue in cheek, kind of proud to say that sometimes we beat HighLevel to the market on some of the features that we've had in our system, such as our quoting system or estimating system. And so that's been fun as well, as we've gone through the process and had the opportunity to have great conversations with, the executives over at HighLevel. Is it's not a competition, right? It's a healthy, competitive environment.
Yeah.
We continue to innovate, both them and us, to bring more and more feature sets to the payments part of everything.
Totally. I think it's an amazing tool, works really simply. If you know high level, if you're an agency who's working inside high level, I think it's a great tool for any agency owner to kind of implement it. And not just for the savings that you bring on the finance side, but also having that end to end, from day one of the client's journey, right dialed inside high level. Your client, imagine your client success managers, getting a notification as soon as a payment debt gets declined and things like that. Now they're tracking this because I know we go through some of that issue on our side, and that's the finance had to now communicate this over that these are the pending invoices. Can somebody take care of them? And this just becomes a process because guess what? You're in a CRM system, so you're managing client relationships. What better way to equip your people with real-time finance data? You don't have to share everything with your people on the front ends, but there is specific data like, missed invoices is a huge one. It's a huge opportunity for missed revenue and things like that. You need to put the brakes right there and then before it balloons out of control. So I think having that connectivity is a big one as well, along with the savings that you bring to the table on. And like I said, we got a great demo from you, and looks like every agency owner should really be working inside Numeric for their payment processing. Let's change some gears here, Josh, and I quickly want to talk about this interesting thing that you and I met at Alex Schlinsky's event, the POD Live Prospecting on Demand live event in Tampa this month, and we got to talking, and and you told me that you kind of started this business, and I think you have close to 100 clients already, and you got to this level just by organically just doing good old-fashioned door knocking.
Yeah, that's essentially what we've been able to do. So, in the digital space, how do you knock on somebody's door, right?
Yeah.
And what we've found is just having conversations, right? Just listening. So as I was going through that initial foundation of where I came from, I just listened to the community. I'm very active in the high level community, not just from my standpoint of, hey, you should use Numeric, right? But from the standpoint of did somebody ask about a snapshot question, a form question, a survey question? Do I know the answer to that? Can I provide an answer to that? And so as I started using the high level system myself in that contract work, I started understanding how the system worked, and I could offer answers. I could have conversations. And then from there, right, then that can easily build into a conversation about the product that we built, because it does offer a solution. It does help, right? And that's, again, the great thing about the high level community is everybody is there, from my perspective, to help one another. Oh, I have a question about this. 10 people will respond. Here's how you can do it, right? And so that's how the organic marketing started for us, the door knocking, if you will.
And how many of these events do you go to?
So I've been to 2 events so far, and we're really just scratching the surface.
Starting out, man.
Yeah, just starting out. So the events we'll start doing more of, right, as the business starts building, and I can start sort of stepping away from some of the day-to-day stuff as we built our team out. Then I'll have more time to start attending events. It's sort of been, for the lack of a better term, just head down. How can we provide the best support possible in everything that we're doing? And so, yeah, events will start being, I'll be at the high level event in October, right, in Dallas.
Nice.
And then
maybe I'll see you there.
I hope so. That'd be great.
I haven't been to one. My brother's been going to those, and I really want to check out the high level one for sure. But Josh, like, coming back to that, man, and I can really relate to your story here because, I've done some of my own door knocking when I was starting out my digital marketing agency here in Calgary. And funny thing is that I still have some of those clients in my legacy agency still working with me. I know I closed a deal on a couple of doctors, Dr. Barry Harden, really cool guys, these, old doctors. They didn't have a website. I dropped off my card, and a week later I got a call. But I think on the digital side, you can do it one step further, because, there we were just going door to door, and we were hoping we'll have a conversation or somebody would call us back and things like that. But still, for anyone who's starting out, there's no reason to say that, as long as you can spend that hours, I'd grab a stack of business cards and go door knock and get some business in. But having said that, I think you can do it more better now on the digital world, like you're doing, like you're being a genuine human being by helping, wherever you can, by, like if you know the answer, you're going to go in and help or connect the person with the right person, which is a huge thing. And you're not even selling Numeric to these guys. But guess what happens is that anytime now they know that, Josh from Numeric, who's got this payment processor on high level, anytime anybody has a question about payment processors, that Mr. Joe that you helped out last week, he's automatically going to be thinking about that. Hey, Josh, help me out. He's got, an awesome payment processor on high level. Why don't you talk to him? He may not even be your client, but I think it's just, doing good. It's so easy, and you really proved it that you haven't really, you're just scratching the surface right now, and you're just already have got awesome traction on your product, and I just can't wait to see you just crushing it, man. I think that alone is $1 million tip. Like if you're starting out and if you can do those basic things, join the, attending the industry events, joining the associations and things like that, and just being active in those communities, if you have a right business, it's going to give you proof of concept without you investing heavily monetarily. I think you've done some of that though, right? Building out the product though.
Yeah, I mean that's, you're sort of preaching to the choir on that one, because it's when that sort of, and you get this, when that sort of clicks in your brain, that if I answer questions here or figure out a solution to something that somebody doesn't know and then offer that, then you are sort of testing what the market wants to see, right? So maybe one person asks about it now, you find the solution to it.
Yeah.
What's the solution to it, right? You're not asking anything of the community. You're simply saying, hey, I figured out your question. Then that starts
exactly
to snowball, right? And
exactly.
I think a lot of times we all can kind of get caught up in, well, what should I be creating? Let me create this really cool product that I think is great, but nobody's ever asked for it, right? And so you can create a really great product. That model doesn't work that well, right? But listening to what people say, what they talk about, and then creating a solution to that creates a great product, because they're just telling you what they want. And that's, I think that's the great thing about high level. And you continue to see these folks pop up in high level. And I've got a few in mind right now, but I'm not going to mention their name because I don't have permission to mention their name. But I'm starting to see there's a good handful of people that have created this help video or that help video, right? And then they talk about it. And then other people ask them questions, and then they become a resource in the community, right? And then all of a sudden they've got a little bit of a business there, and then that business grows.
What an amazing tip, man. I think these are gold mines, Josh. This is amazing. And I know, I think you may also know a friend of mine I've done a podcast with, William Jones. He runs a SEO agency out of Philippines. And I know for a fact that, over the last 2 years, by only using this strategy, he's built a $4 million business in just 2 years. Yeah. So and his sole strategy has been just helping people out, helps people out in different SEO groups. And that's all he did. And he was able to build an agency. He's, I think, $4 million right now, and in under 2 years. And he started from, he had a great agency. He went down to zero, and then he rebuilt it up in a very short amount of time. So he's a great success story. You should definitely look into him as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have not seen him yet, but I'll for sure look for him. But that is right. That's a classic example. You guys are a great example as well over at Websstack, right? It's you see a need. You guys, the conversation, right? If you recall from Tampa, was I was asking you a question, right? You were trying to sort of take a break after the brilliant presentation that you did, right? And I was like, man, could I plug in my payments team into this sort of model? Like, could Websstack sort of fill that model? And you're like, hey, we're really great at X, Y, and Z, right? Your marketing associate and then your sales associate and so forth. And I was like, shoot, they don't have my people. Maybe they'll still have my people. But you guys had filled that need, right? You could see exactly what the market is sort of talking about, what the agency is dealing with, because you had run an agency, right? And so you could see, could we fill that gap? Is there a need there? Clearly there is, because if I remember correctly, you now have over 200 virtual assistants that are now placed and doing amazing things. And I remember listening to your presentation going, you said this one guy was making this amount of money every month as a sales associate. I was like, if I pay him $1,000 more a month, could I have him? But my point is that exact deal. You saw a need, you filled a need, and then the business grows because
exactly. And my journey is very similar to yours, where I've been running my legacy agency for the past 12 years. This kind of business started out of that. I've been in and out of the marketing. Well, I've been in it, but I just never got a breakthrough. But just as soon as you got the opportunity, you kind of drill down. You focus on that niche, you double down on your focus, you blow your market wide open like you did by focusing on digital marketing agencies who are, just 17,000 here in the high level community alone. So, and then on top of that, they have about 500,000 businesses that these agencies are managing behind the scenes, right? So you see that opportunity, you jump on it, and you focus on doing one thing really, really well. I think that's where a lot of people kind of, get distracted and miss the boat on, where they try to do too many things at the same time. That's why Numeric, you've been able to just grow, because you did a great job on doing this one thing really, really well. And as soon as you talk to someone about it, you don't really even have to sell it. It's duh, aha. Like us at Websstack, we're trying to place leadership level people inside the agencies who are marketing associates, sales assistants, and account managers. And in terms of our pricing, when you compare us at $14 an hour to some of the rates that you can get in Philippines and things like that, it's a completely different comparison. But as soon as you do a comparison at hiring a full-time employee who can come in and maybe lead teams, and you see down the road at a gas station, full-time employees are being hired for $15 an hour. You're like, okay, duh, this is an aha moment for me. Like, a Websstack person can come in, take care of all of this stuff, and I can still be able to bring that person up. So that's kind of, the stuff that happened with us. Very similar to yours, doing just one thing, try to do it really, really well for a type of businesses, digital marketing agencies, which you and I both love. And I think that's where I've seen most people also have success. Just do one thing really, really well for a particular type of community or a niche. And I think the breakthroughs come really fast too.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Every time I've noticed success in any of the businesses that I've been in, it's because you get really good at that one thing. Any mentor that I've ever followed, and I follow a lot, two that I follow right now are copywriting sort of legends in their space that do very, very well. They're always saying that same thing, right? And they're in the 7-figure earning category for their businesses, multiple figures every year. And it's always just get really, really good at one thing, and then now provide that to the community that would like to see it. And when I've gone off that track, I've tried to do too much, and it's happened in just about every business, right? You go, why is it not working anymore? I thought I was providing more. You're not providing more. You're just crazy. Just distracting yourself with more. So
I hear you, man. I hear you. Josh, this has been great, man. Thanks for coming on to the show. I know this is going to be very helpful to a lot of agency owners who are going to be listening to this. And, I'm hoping to see more of you, and I'm looking forward to working with Numeric as our payment processor.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. Looking forward to working with you guys as well. And let's keep rolling.
All right, Josh. Thanks so much, man.
You're very welcome.